Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of my chocolate chip cookie Pikachu tutorial. Today I'm going to make some chocolate color. This is the only brown I have, and it's a little bit too light and too reddish. So I think maybe I'll try mixing it with some black, and I'll try to see what other colors to make a chocolate color. I haven't really done this before either. I'm just guessing. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to try this much of each and mix it together. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this color. Let's see. Here's my old cookie color, which I still don't quite like, but I can always paint it or add some colored chalk to change that. But this chocolate chip color is pretty good, so I'm going to start making some little chocolate chips. And I think I've decided that I will first shape them kind of like a chip, and then I'm going to cook them, and then I'm going to stick them into the Pikachu. So I'm going to kind of make little shapes kind of like this, and then I will put them in the oven. Okay, I've made a snake shape with my chocolate color, and I'm going to cut out pieces to make my chips with, so that they're all about the same size. That helps with keeping them uniform in size and shape, because if you wanted to make a chocolate chunk cookie, you wouldn't do this. You just have all different sizes, or whatever you want. Different people like different kinds of chips, but I decided to make chocolate chips on my Pikachu, and they should all be about the same amount of clay each. So I'm gonna make a whole bunch of these. Okay, I think I've focused the camera so you can see up close. See that? I'm making a pointed on one side and flat on the other. Here's one, and I'm just ruining it. There you go. And here's the other one. That one's better. See, that's like a perfect chip shape. So I'm just taking one of these things, and I just kind of, you could leave it flat on one side, but I like to roll it in a ball first, and then I kind of make it pointy a little bit, like that, and then I just get any kind of tool, and I kind of push it against there, and then it kind of just does a chip shape. So you just have to do that a whole bunch of times, and then you can do it extra, so you have way more than you need, and then just pick the best ones. And you can always just adjust it. If they don't come out right, just try again. And when they're cooked, if you cook a chocolate chip cookie with the chips in it, they're not all going to be perfect shape. They're going to kind of melt a little bit, go to the left or right, or be more flat or more stretched out. It just depends. So they don't all have to be the exact same. Okay, I just pulled these out of the oven about a minute ago, and they're cool because they're so small. They cooled already. So I'm going to put these in a small container so they don't get lost, and then I will start working on the tail. I'm starting on the tail instead of the body, in case I make some mistakes, and then I just have to remake another tail instead of the whole body. For the tail, when I cut it out of the flat sheet, it got a little bit of straight, sharp edges on each side. So I'm going to smooth those out, because cookies are kind of rounded, on the edges. They don't have sharp edges like a box. So I'm just going to kind of you know, press down on the edges so they're more rounded. And then I'm going to try to texture it. I'm gonna try some different techniques. I'm gonna try the balled up tinfoil technique, and maybe some sandpaper, and maybe some other random things I haven't figured out yet. I've got most of the edges smooth on this, and now I'm going to try tinfoil. I've made it kind of bumpy, and we're going to try this for the very first time. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but I see other people using tinfoil. It's okay. I know that, you know, depending on how you bend or shape your tinfoil or crunch it up, it would make different shapes on your clay. Actually, this isn't too bad. I might need a few... Okay, let's see. I might need a few cracks and stuff in it, because usually chocolate chip cookies have kind of like cracks where they've cooked and, I don't know, broken up a little bit. But this is a good start. Now I'll try sandpaper. I'm going to try two different kinds of sandpaper. This one is 40 grit. That's the size of the little rocks. And this one I think is 180, which has a lot smaller ones. I'll start with this one since it seems a little bit less harsh. Okay, like I was guessing, it doesn't really do much because they're so small. I'll try this one. This one definitely makes more of a mark, but I don't really like it. It's it just doesn't look like a cookie. Looks more like, it makes it look like sand or rock, because that's what I'm using. Sandpaper. So I don't recommend sandpaper. I found a texture I kind of like, and here's how to do it. You put it down. Okay, and this tinfoil that I had, I'm taking the edge and I'm kind of making little lines. Just little, you know, horizontal and vertical and diagonal lines randomly. And try to get a thin edge. That one's too thick. And just make a few lines. It should be like rough, but I don't know. That one's a little bit too rough, maybe, but it's not bad. That one's a little bit less rough. I'm gonna keep playing with it, and then you know, whichever I like the best, then I'll just do the body like that. Okay, now I'm going to try to put some chocolate chips in. A few of them I'm going to try to put in the cracks that I made, you know, the big ones. Because when you look at a real chocolate chip cookie, they seem to be, the chips usually seem to be along the crack lines. So I'm just going to take a few of them and stick them in, and right now I'm not really worried about which way they're pointed, like if they're flat side up or pointed side up. And I want it to be pretty random looking, like some should be near the edges and some should be near the middle, and but it's, you know, at the same time I'm not trying too hard, but I do want to make sure some of them look like they're under the cookie material. So I'm going to cut a few spaces, like here's a let me see. Okay, like see, here's one of the darker cracks right here. So I'm going to cut kind of a space and lift up some clay, and I'm going to try to get a chip inside there with the clay sticking over it. I shouldn't be using this because it's going to make a mark, but okay, see that? It's kind of inside. Okay, here I made a very shallow cut. See this? This is so thin. This little piece of clay sticking up, and when you stick a chip under there, it should kind of show through. You know how sometimes you can kind of see a chip down inside the cookie. I need one that's okay. All the chips are different shapes, so I'm looking for one that's kind of thin and angled. I made some that are just flat too. See, this one is not chip shape, it's just a circle, like a disc. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna try to get it right under that piece of clay. I don't know if I could do it or not. Okay, here we go. There we go. See? And then I'll just push it down. And I'll just, you know, do a variety of depths of chips all over the thing. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it like this, with about 7 chips per side. I think, you know, it could have a few more, but I don't want it to be crazy with chips all over the place. Plus, I think it is gonna take away from the strength of the tail if it's like all these chips breaking up this, you know, the piece of the clay. This would be the time, if you're one of those people that has a bunch of chalk pastel things. A lot of people like to take, you know, their colored chalk pastel. This is oil. I don't think you're supposed to use oil, but you take your clay and you take the color you want and you kind of scrape some powder onto it, or you can take a paintbrush and, you know, brush some chalk on it for added color, and then you probably stick it down to the clay. But I looked all over the place, and all these things I have are oil. Like, I have 2 different sets, and they're both oil, and I'm pretty sure you should not use oil pastels. So I'm just gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna cook it, and I might paint it later, like, you know, dry brush it with some brown.